And for nearly 4 hours, he lies bleeding to death, deprived of any help whatsoever.
There ensues one of the strangest, most poignant dramas of the days before the war.
Is that you, Fay? Are you all right?
Yes. So are the others.
Well, I am going to die, and I just want you to look after my wife and children.
Of course I will.
You promise?
I swear it.
For the time being, our good friend Mussolini will look after them. We can trust him.
Chancellor, I allowed Major Fay to come here so that you could speak to him on serious matters. The first and most important thing for you to do is to order the army to make no move against us.
Send for a priest.
Chancellor, you shall have a priest on conditions.
Yes?
Give immediate orders that Rintelen shall be placed at the head of the government and that the army shall take no action against us.
I only want peace. No blood must be shed on my account. But Schuschnigg is the man to form a new government.
I tell you, the man we insist upon having is Rintelen.
The one man for Austria is Schuschnigg.
Adolphus dies without yield.
The Nazi attempt fails.
Austria remains Austria.
For the time being.
An immense throng attends the state funeral of the little Chancellor, and Cardinal Initza, Archbishop of Vienna, declares,
He endured the death throes of our Lord, surrounded by enemies.
Austria's respite is only temporary.
In March 1938, Hitler sends for Chancellor Schuschnigg and compels him to invite the Germans to take over Austria. German troops march into Vienna.
the crime is consummated.
Schuschnigg meets a fate almost worse than that of Dolphus. He is thrown into prison to face no one knows what torments.
Cardinal Initza sees his palace invaded and sacked by a fanatical mob of Hitler youth.
Let's try this door. Come on. Look at it locked. Let's go on the other side. Let's go.
Hello, police. Hello, police.
Hurry up. Up you go. Break the window. Yes, smash it open. Break open the window.
Please, send help quickly.
Go on. Break it. Use your gun. Go on, break it down. Let's go on. Don't hit the others. Don't get the others. That's right. Break it in. Come on.
Stop. I beg of you, do not commit sacrilege. Remember, this is the house of the Prince of the Church.
You old humbug, you can't stop us. Get out of the way. Come on. Here you are. There's another one coming down.
No, please. We are precious treasures of the church.
Get out of the way. If he won't let it go, send him down with it. Yes, send him down. Burn him. Burn him. Get him down.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
The pace of events intensifies.
After the Austrian, the Sudetenland crisis.
War seems inevitable. But the Pact of Munich establishes a new agreement.
Hitler guarantees formally and solemnly Czechoslovakia's new frontiers.
Czechoslovakia, faithful to her undertaking, relinquishes the Sudetenland territory to the troops of the Reich.
The world breathes with relief.
And on the 26th of September, 1938, Hitler says of the Sudetenland,
This territorial claim is the last I have to make in Europe. I have assured Mr. Chamberlain, and I repeat now, that when the Sudeten problem is settled, Germany will not raise any more territorial questions in Europe.
Here are the words from the Führer's very mouth.
Ich bin Mr. Chamberlain dankbar. Ich habe stets versichert, ich habe weiter versichert und ich wiederhole Sie, dass wenn dieses Problem gelöst ist für Deutschland, es kein territoriales Problem in Europa
within
gibt.
6 months, the promise is broken.
Czechoslovakia ceases to exist, and German troops enter Prague.
In the same month, the ogre of Berlin swallows the mere morsel of Memo, the Lithuanian port.
Great Britain decides upon conscription, and Hitler is solemnly warned that any further act of aggression means war.
The sands are running out. And August 1939 brings the most cynical stroke of all.
4 years before, Hitler had declared,
Between Germany and Russia, there is a gulf that can never be bridged.
But von Ribbentrop arrives in Moscow to sign a non-aggression pact between Hitler and Stalin.
the astonishment aroused throughout the world is soon tinged with irony.
So paradoxical is this new friendship between the two dictators.
Current cartoons hit off the situation.
I've changed my emblem a little just to please you.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Hitler and Stalin disguised as Frederick II and Catherine the Great. Germany is no less astonished than the rest of the world.
Especially the older people who are unable to understand such a fantastic somersault.
But Hitler had always concentrated on youth. The young people are his.
Caught up in their earliest years in the great Nazi machine.
They think as Hitler wishes them to think. They will do only what Hitler wishes them to do.
Their fanatical belief in their leader transcends all other consideration.
Even family ties.
Hermann,
Mother,
where are you going?
upstairs to my room.
No. Stay here. There are things I must talk to you about.
Oh, Mother, must we? Can't we leave it till later?
No, later I may find excuses for you. Later I may even have begun to love you again. I want to speak to you now while I feel only contempt for you. While I see in you nothing but a despicable little spy. I got used to distrusting servants, strangers, even friends. But one's own child. No, that didn't seem possible. How could you bring yourself to do it? You must have hated your father. Why?
I didn't hate him. I love him.
Love him.
Yes. And I'm suffering as much as you are, probably more. After all, I was the one who had to denounce him.
Oh, they forced you. They suspected your father and questioned you. Threatened you, perhaps.
Do you really think that I'd yield to threats?
Well, it would have been an excuse.
I don't need excuses.
I don't understand.
That's obvious. When Emmy Anker informed on her mother, she didn't understand either. And when Franz Weber denounced his elder brother, his parents cursed him.
Who are these people you're talking about?
My comrades of the Hitler Youth. And yet, after denouncing her mother, whom she adored, Emmy Anker hanged herself, and Franz Weber tried to commit suicide. You see, they'd simply done their duty, knowing they'd pay for it with their lives.
Duty? Is that what you call it? To spy on your own family? To betray those who love you? Is that what you call duty? So you're proud of what you did. You sneaked off to your leader and repeated your father's words of your own free will?
Of course.
You're mad. You're all of you mad.
You don't understand anything that doesn't conform with your comfortable bourgeois ideas. All the time you use the words family and love. Well, you know what I think? If Germany is weak and poor and foreign countries don't respect her, it's your fault. Yours and other mothers like you. You can't make a nation strong by bringing up her children in the bourgeois atmosphere of the home, by softening their spirit with sloppy sentiment. I wish I'd never loved you, never loved Father.
Herman, don't. Don't, my little one. You don't know what you're saying. It's so terrible, these things you're telling me. It's horrible.
Love is within the reach of any mere animal. The only sentiment that truly ennobles man is the spirit of sacrifice. Our Führers taught us that. That is why I despise your tales and why I'm proud of myself. I suppose that when I think of my father, I shall suffer sometimes. But I haven't any remorse. I know that I have no duties to anything but Germany, and I only live to serve her.
What a crime.
What a crime. And now the final and greatest crime of all.
Poland invaded.